And we are live. We'll just wait for people to join and then I will intro. So welcome everyone. We're just going to give it a minute or two for people to join and then we will start. Right, lovely. So welcome everyone to our puppy parenting class. This class is about finding a puppy, and we have a very expert breeder here in Aileen who's going to answer your questions, and we're going to talk about things about finding the right breed for you, how to find a good breeder, what you should be aware of for a bad breeder, any questions that you've got about finding specific breeds or, where to find them. We will talk through all of that. So welcome. Thank you so much for your time. So I think, first up, it would be great if you could just talk through about how people can find the right breed of dog for them.
Hi, everyone. So a lot of finding the right breed for you is all to do with your lifestyle, what's going to fit in with you, how many kids, what kind of kids, are they lively kids, are they well-behaved kids, and really do your research as to what the puppy you are looking at was actually bred for. So if you're looking at working dogs, bear in mind that a border collie was bred to round things up. So if he doesn't have that job to do with you, he's going to go self-employed and he will round up the kids, round up joggers in the park, round up bicycles. So choose your breed, do your research really carefully and find a breed that is going to fit in with your lifestyle and not just something that you've seen on an advert or on TV or met one in the park. So look to see what is going to fit in with you and do your research.
And are there other things to consider, not just the sort of the dog's behaviour, but for example, if someone were to pick a popular breed, perhaps the trendy breeds on social media, like a French bulldog, things that they need to take into account for, because obviously the puppy's going to be with them hopefully for a very long time.
Exactly. You're looking at investing sometimes up to 15 years. So it's always really useful to do the research into what health issues these breeds might have, which health tests they need to have had done, and don't just pick a breed because you like the look of it. Make sure that you know what you're letting yourself in for, because a lot of these designer breeds, they have massive health issues, and if you're not buying from a breeder who health tests, you could be buying yourself some vet bill at some point, and it could be one of those vet bills that goes on for as long as that dog's going to be with you.
Great. And then how can people go about finding a good breeder?
Mm-hmm. The obvious place to start is, if you're looking at a pedigree breed, go to the breed clubs. The breed clubs are run by people who live, breathe, eat, sleep their breed. They're the ones that know all about it. They're the ones that can tell you all the really good things about it and the really bad things about it. They will tell you which health tests they need and who carries out those tests. They will point you in the direction of a good breeder. Very often they run a puppy register. So breed club members, if they've got a litter, they let them know, they put them on the website, or they tell the secretary. So first point of call is your breed club. The kennel club. The Kennel Club is a very useful place because they have a puppy register. So when a breeder has a litter, if the puppy's a Kennel Club register, they can put them on the Kennel Club's website as they have puppies available. Recommendation: if you have friends who have the breed that you want, find out where they got theirs from. And even if that breeder doesn't have anything available, they'll normally know other breeders who have something.
Great. They're all really good tips. And what about, going to meet breeders? Like, if you haven't had that breed before, will breeders be happy for you to come and meet them, even if you don't necessarily intend on buying from them?
Yeah. It's something that I always say to people when they ring and say, have you got a puppy? Have you got any puppies? So you find out what they know about the breed, how much research they've done. And sometimes people haven't actually met one. They've seen a picture, they've had friends tell them about them. So I will always invite people to come and say, look, come and spend a couple of hours with them, see what they're like at home. And I will tell you all the good things about them. I'll tell you all the bad things about them. And by the time you leave me, you will either leave going, I have to have this puppy, or no, this is not the breed for me. But it's the best way to do it, because no breeder wants to let a puppy go to a new home worrying that it's maybe not the right home, and 12 months down the line, 2 years down the line, they've got that person on the phone saying, I don't want this puppy anymore. It's not turned out what I thought it was going to be. But if you give them all the facts to start with, the good ones and the bad, then that puppy's more likely to be there for the rest of its life.
Yeah. And what sort of questions as a breeder do you ask people? Are you looking to find out about that potential home for your puppies?
Oh, there's a whole list of questions. Probably the most important one is going to be, how long is this puppy going to be left on its own all day? Now, you have to be realistic. People have to go to work, people have to go shopping, they have to go wherever. The dog can't always go with them. So if they say, oh, well, the most it's ever going to be left is for 3 or 4 hours a day, not ideal, but hey, it's livable. If they say, I'm going to go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm not coming home at 6 o'clock at night, then no, sorry, you try a cat or something, but you maybe don't need a dog. I'd want to know all about where the puppy's going to live. Is it going to be a family member? Is it going to live in the house? Is your garden well fenced? How much free time have you got for training, for socializing the puppy, for going for walks? Is it going to be a family member's puppy, or is it a family puppy? So if they say, oh, well, I'm buying it for my son for my birthday, it's his dog. Okay, how old is he? How much training is he going to put into the dog? How much work is he going to have time to do all this stuff for the dog? You don't quite go down the financial, as in, I'd like to see your bank statements. But buying a puppy is a big commitment. Dog food's expensive, vet bills is expensive, insurance is expensive. So I would always kind of gently point out that if there's not a lot of spare cash about, perhaps you don't need to add a puppy onto the expenses list. So, but when you go to see a breeder about a puppy, yes, you've got lots of questions that you want to ask them, but always bear in mind that that breeder will ask you a lot of questions. So be prepared to have the right answers so that they know that the puppy they are going to let you have, you are 100% committed to.
And I'm guessing if a breeder hasn't got a lot of questions to ask you, would that be a red flag that they're perhaps not a good breeder?
It would to me.
Yeah.
It would to me. If all they're interested in is what kind of puppy do you want? Do you want a boy? Do you want a girl? What colour do you want? Yes, I've got one of those. This is how much it is. Give me the money. There's your puppy. Off you go. That's
What other signs are there to spot a sort of a backyard breeder? And obviously, I think also it would be good if you could just mention sort of top line what the laws are around breeding. Obviously, Lucy's Law is a new law that came in recently to help stop puppy farming. But we do know it still goes on. So what can people do to spot someone that they perhaps shouldn't be buying a puppy from?
I think to use your common sense. If when you get there is a lot that's giving you the feeling that this might not be a good place, listen to your gut. If the person you are going to buy your puppy from has half a dozen different breeds, that's also a little bit of a warning. And if when you see the puppies, you're not happy with the way they look or the way they smell, that would be a massive warning sign. Of Lucy's Law, you must always see the puppy with its mother. So if when they let the mum in, that mum isn't actually that bothered about these puppies, or she growls at them or wants nothing to do with them, I'd be a little bit suspicious that possibly that actually wasn't the puppy's mother. Or they'll come up with an excuse that the mum's gone for a walk, or she's gone to stay with a friend, or she's not very friendly, so we don't want to let her in. Again, take that as a bit of a red flag. Puppies will always be thrilled to see their mum. So even if they're fully weaned and she's not in with them all the time, which is fine, when they see her, they will be all over her. But if that dog that they've let in, the puppies don't appear to recognise as their mum, it probably isn't. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think there's a good, interesting you said there about the excuse of the mum not being very friendly. To me, that would be questionable. Why are they breeding her if she's not got a very good temperament?
Yes, there is that as well. And also another interesting point, don't always expect to see the stud dog, because people don't always use their own stud dog. So they might say, look, this is mum, but I don't have dad, I don't own dad, but here's a picture of him. That's fine. Not a problem with that at all. If your gut instinct is telling you something's not right here, listen to it, because you're probably right. It probably isn't right. If you're not happy with the way the puppies are being kept, maybe it's dirty, maybe there's dirty food bowls about, or the puppies don't look very well, walk away. As hard as it might be, walk away. Do not buy the puppy to get it out of there, because all you're doing there is making room for another litter of puppies. If people don't buy puppies from places like that, they'll stop breeding them because they can't sell them. And as hard as it will be, and I'm sure it is excruciatingly hard, just don't do it. You want to go to a breeder where the puppies look clean, they look healthy, they look happy, they're interacting with each other, they're interacting with the breeder, they want to interact with you. you want to know that the breeder has asked you all the questions that you're expecting to be asked, and they've also answered all your questions. So you ask them what health, you already know before you get there because you've done your homework, what health tests has your breeding stock had done. And if they say, I've had this done, I've had that done, fabulous. Can I see the certificates, please? Can I see the proof? Yep. Good breeder will always go, yep, here you go. There it is. You want to ask, when I collect my puppy, at what age can I take him home? Because the law is you must not take that puppy home before it's 8 weeks old. So if they say you can have it at 6 weeks, no, that's wrong. 6 weeks, they're not ready to leave. 8 weeks old, you want to know, are you supplying me any food with this puppy? Am I getting a puppy pack? Because, again, legally, they need to provide you with at least a diet sheet so that you know what you're going to feed the puppy, how often it's got to be fed, and where to change onto the next layer of food. The puppy must be microchipped. Ask the breeder, are you registering this microchip in my name when it leaves me, when it leaves the breeder? Because what I do with mine is on the morning they go to their new home, I will register that puppy in their name on the microchip so that I'm not relying on them to do it. It's already done for them coming to collect the puppy and taking it home. So there's lots of things to ask the breeder before you go to take it home. Hopefully you've gone to see the puppy when it's about 6 weeks old, seen the mum, seen the breeder, seen the puppies, and then they'll say, right, come back in 2 weeks' time and collect your puppy. Some breeds, a lot of the toy breeds, they won't let them go till they're 12 weeks. So again, you need to be prepared to wait a little bit longer. But just always trust your gut instinct. And if it doesn't feel right, walk away. There's lots of other good places to get puppies from.
Yeah, very good advice. And on the health test, obviously that applies to pedigree dogs, but crossbreeds, assuming they should still be health testing the parents for, whatever the two different breeds are.
Ideally, but I'm going to say probably not. If you're using a crossbreed, if you're breeding crossbreeds, you've got 2 pedigree dogs. It's very possible that both those breeds have health issues. And just because you're crossing them together to get your crossbreed does not make them healthy. They've still got those genes there in that one puppy that could have either or both the issues that the parents have got. I'm going to put my neck on the line here and say I suspect the vast majority of people breeding designer breeds, doodles, poos, whatever, are not doing the health test. I do know some that do health test and very rigorously, but I'd say on the majority don't, sadly.
But it's still always best to ask about health tests.
Absolutely.
Even if it's
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Has anyone got any questions, please do add them in the comments. But I know we're being quite we're talking through a lot of stuff here. I think it would be good to know what you think are the most important factors when choosing the right puppy for you and finding a breeder.
I think I would want to know that the breeder I have chosen to get a puppy from has done their absolute utmost for this puppy. No good breeder wants to breed unhealthy dogs. You all do your best to make sure that that puppy is going to leave you happy, healthy, and is going to be with the person you've let have it for the next however many years that puppy's going to live. A lot of people that have had puppies off me in years gone by, I'm still friends with them, even though perhaps the dog has passed, but they're still friends. We still get Christmas cards. We still occasionally catch up on the phone. You want a breeder that if you've bought a puppy from them, that you feel you can contact them at any point with any question, and they're going to be there to help you. The other thing to look at and ask when you go to see the puppies is this puppy going to come with a contract? So mine go off with a contract that says they're wormed, they've got a diet sheet, they're Kennel Club registered, they're microchipped, and also I will tell them that at any point in this dog's life, if they cannot keep the dog, it has to come back to me. I don't want to, people's circumstances change. People lose their homes, people lose their jobs, people die. And so that puppy needs a fallback. And as a breeder, you are responsible for that puppy for the rest of its life. So if you're not prepared to be there for that puppy owner, you shouldn't be breeding. But I've got quite a few people asking why toy breeders don't like the puppy to go home till 12 weeks.
Yes, good question.
Toy breed puppies are tiny, that high, that big, and they're very vulnerable. So a lot of toy breeders prefer to hang on to them till they're that little bit bigger, and they've had the first vaccinations. It's just a toy breed thing. I let mine go at 8 weeks if the person has had a toy breed puppy before. Otherwise, I keep mine till 12 weeks as well.
And they can learn a lot more from the mum, can't they? That I know it's a vital part of their socialization period, but the mum can sort of does help with that a bit.
I'd say, to be fair, by 12 weeks, the mum wants nothing to do with them. But certainly up to 8 weeks, mums go in, they play with them, they'll break up any puppy scuffles. If somebody's playing a bit rough or taking advantage, you can see the mum pin it to the floor and go, right, that's enough. Stop that.
Yeah.
To be fair, but 12 weeks is a big ask for a mum. Some bitches will happily play with their puppies till then, but in my experience, mine would normally go, I'd rather stick pins in my eyes and go in there.
I'm quite surprised with mine. She's actually let him have, I've obviously still got one here. He's 12 weeks tomorrow, and she let him have another feed last night.
Oh, that's a good girl.
I know. I can't believe it.
Like needles.
Yeah. I can definitely vouch for the teeth like needles, but yeah, she definitely does the telling him off when he's being bad and playing with him, and so I can definitely see, from 8 weeks to 12 weeks how much more she's been doing with him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But if there are no more questions, or is there anything that you think that I haven't asked that you would like to share your wisdom with people?
I don't think so. I think we've covered quite a lot in quite a short space. But I think the most important thing is I keep saying it, trust your gut instinct.
Yeah.
If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. And if you're not happy with what you find, or you're not getting the correct answers to the questions that you're asking, just walk away.
Yeah. And I think it's good to try and talk to at least a couple of different breeders, because you can
Yeah,
either see a pattern, can't you, or spot
exactly.
a good one versus a bad one.
Exactly. And then, do you know, sometimes you'll go and visit a breeder because they've said, look, come and meet them. Come and meet the dogs, meet the breed, and then decide whether it's the right breed for you. And then they'll say, but actually, I don't have any puppies at the moment, but I know somebody else in the breed who has, and they'll recommend somebody. I mean, my favourite one is I will only recommend another breeder that I would happily buy a puppy from. And so you're only going to put people in touch with people you know are doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I went to see, before I got my poodles, a few different breeders, one of which actually said to me, after someone had chosen one of the two puppies that were left, that she didn't think that the puppy that she had left was suitable for me because it was so boisterous. It needed to go to a family with other dogs. And I was so grateful that she actually said, I know
Yeah.
you've come all this way, but come and meet them. But I don't think this is the right puppy for you as a first time dog owner. And, you know, still kept in touch with me when I did eventually find a puppy. How are you getting on? You know, checking in on me. And I had
Yeah.
another one that I chose not to buy a puppy from, did exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
How is your girl settling in? You know, if you've got any questions, I'm here. That to me is a good breeders, that I didn't purchase a puppy from them, but they were still offering me support because they're so passionate about
Exactly.
the breed.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, again, it comes back to the sort of breed you've chosen to have. So if you're a first time dog owner and have never even grown up with dogs as a kid, be wary about going for the working breeds, the guarding breeds, the dogs that are going to take a bit more of your time and your expertise and experience. Have something a bit gentler, a bit more trainable, that will work with you rather than question your every move. I'm just thinking about the other breed I had was the Doberman, and they are fabulous dogs to live with. But if you said, do this, please, and they would go, why? So, and it's kind of, you know, as an experienced dog owner, you know that actually you don't question what I'm saying, you just please do it.
Yeah.
So a first time dog owner would go, oh, don't you want to do it then? And be taken advantage of. So look carefully at what breed you're going for, and then go and talk to people that know that breed inside out, and they will help you decide whether it's the right breed for you.
Yeah. It's that I always think you've got to look at the cons of that breed and what you're most willing
Absolutely.
to accept.
Absolutely, because they're no different from people. They have a nice side and they have a not so nice side. You know, my breed is a wonderful little breed to live with. They are full of fun. They're great characters. They're naughty. They're also really, really noisy.
Can hear.
And
And what is your breed? Because I can't remember if we talked
miniature
about it on
pinchers,
the live.
miniature pinchers. So, but, and also they're not that easy to house train. So if I wasn't honest with somebody that came to see the puppies and all they see is these cute little puppies,
Mm.
and you'd say, yeah, but do you know what? If it's raining, they don't like to pee outside. They'd rather pee on the kitchen mat. And you know, if you've got neighbours or you live in a flat, they're a bit noisy. You can hear them now, probably. So maybe it's not the ideal dog for you. And as I say, they either leave here going, this is the breed for me, or no, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll look at something else. And it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. With poodles, it's obviously the grooming costs can be quite expensive. Plus, you need to spend time daily brushing them and bathing them if they get muddy or they get dirty bums, which is quite common.
Yeah.
And they're barky too. They think they're guard dogs, so they're very protective.
Absolutely.
And you can't close a bathroom door on a poodle, is what I was told.
I want to see. In this house, we also used to say to the Dobermans, there isn't a back door to this room, you know. I'm going in this door and I will come back out it. You know, that again, that's with the lifestyle choice. It's a big consideration in how much work are you going to have to put into this dog?
Yeah.
How much grooming? Are they uneasy? Do they need to go to the groomers every 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Can you cope with it in between yourself?
Yeah.
Because you can't just rock up to the groomer and go, please, can you deal with this? And leave them this shaggy, untouched, full of twigs and leaves and mud, and expect them to then give you back at the end of the day something that looks like it's just gone best in show at Crufts.
No, it's going to be shaved to an inch of its life.
My sympathy with groomers these days is, I mean, I know I've got friends who are groomers, and the horror stories they tell about doodles and stuff turning up for a bath and a groom, and they have to literally shear them like sheep.
Yeah.
Because
and I think
they haven't been touched between grooms.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing to ask your breeder if you're getting a long-haired dog. How do I groom? Because I was given a lesson before I took my first puppy home, because poodles actually are brushed backwards because they're wool. You brush them tail to head. Now, if I hadn't been shown that, I would have been brushing mine wrong. And when she went to the groomers, she still would have been matted. But I would have thought that there was no knots because I was brushing her the wrong way. So I was extremely grateful for that lesson. And see so many people brushing their dogs the wrong way because they haven't been told.
Yeah. And you'd really like to hope that breeders of the coated breeds like that will give you a grooming demonstration, tell you what equipment you need to buy, how to use it, so that when your puppy comes home, because they will have already started the grooming process, they will have got puppies used to being bathed and groomed, and then it's your job to keep it up. If you want a big coated breed like whatever, then part of your job is to keep that how it should be.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much. And I'll just pin this so you can see it, but Diana said thank you. Lots of great advice there.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining. Obviously, if you missed the start, this is on Facebook and YouTube, so you can rewatch from the start. Thank you so much for your time and all of your very useful information. I hope everyone found that useful. We've got more classes coming up. We've got tonight at 6 o'clock with Bethany England sharing what she wished she knew as a dog owner before she got a puppy. We've got a behavioural class on Wednesday, and then we have a rescue class on Thursday. So stay tuned for those. So thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.